The fact that most of the postgraduate students are also full-time students. I will always use the concept 3 in 1, but not God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. But one, you are a full-time employee, or you are running your own business. That is the first one. The second one is that you are you are a social person. You have a family, and you have to deal with that. Then the third one, now you are a student. So the management of time dealing with the 3 in 1 then sometimes becomes a very difficult, particularly if there's a death in the family, or one example of the social issues, which may take a little bit longer for a person to heal from that.
Do we really have enough labs at various institutions? Do we have the right equipments, etc.? I don't think so, and that's an issue. In some of the universities, like in my case, for instance, the infrastructure which is there is dilapidated, very old. It was done in the 70s, some in the 80s, etc. It's not conducive in terms of accommodating the postgraduate students. And I speak of a number of institutions in the country.
We can argue that it's all the way from funding to preparedness and the likes. But I want to take an alternative view. For me, the main challenge in the postgraduate sector is to have a postgraduate cohort of students that is actual fact aligned to the needs of your economy.
The main challenges that we have, number one, is really attracting the right caliber of student to be interested in postgraduate studies compared to people wanting basic education to get employment. Also, the whole challenge of just the whole issue of poverty that a lot of people are brought up under, and the urgency of really finding themselves in a situation where they have to earn money to help their relatives. So that limits the numbers that go there. Two, it's also the whole issue of the country in itself not having a situation where industries are really very producing. We're mostly a country of consumers. We consume the cell phones, we consume everything from outside.
We don't have enough staff members who are highly qualified in order to supervise our students. How many staff members at various institutions in the country have got PhDs as a minimum, because you need that doctoral qualification in order to supervise masters, in order to supervise doctoral students. So the issue of capacity really need to look at that. So to summarize, the challenges facing higher education in terms of the postgraduate studies is funding, is infrastructure, and the human resources.
If you pursue a postgraduate study just for the sake of doing a postgraduate qualification, I think then we're missing the point as a nation. Postgraduate studies should be there to broaden the base of knowledge in your economy, and therefore to address contemporary issues that we are grappling with in our economy. Things like poverty, inequality, unemployment. Being at the cutting edge of economic innovation and development. Being able to build an economic base that's broad enough to be truly functional in a G20 economic environment.
To get students to understand that they have to be inventing, because all the rich countries invent and sell products to other countries. It's very difficult to do that. So it's a battle. So you actually have to train the undergraduate and try to get them to be beaten by the so-called research bug in order for them to go to postgraduate studies, but also to support around them, so that they don't feel the need to really urgently go into work or to enroll part-time.